So this concept has been in my kind of existential wheelhouse lately, this concept of relations, all my relations. That's a Native American term. I forget the actual Native American word or words, but it's this getting in the mindset, continuing in the mindset that we're not an island, we're not a staccato individual being that's just in it of itself. We are in relation to other things. We essentially get to be alive. We get to be a person, a persona, an individuality, a personification of the nose tape is still on. A personification of life. It sounds a little bit woo-woo, I know, but the concept of this is all one thing. But more sort of grounded down to earth is this is all one relationship. I in relationship to other. I in relationship to life. I in relationship as life. These types of concepts, they don't really get embedded and naturalized into our psyche, our beingness from the get-go. It's something that we have to intentionally imbue, intentionally integrate into ourselves over time. And to an extent, it's innate, where we see, hey, this is me, that's you, okay. But to balance it, to not have it, to balance it in the sense of not being too defined and to not be too amorphous, right? Too ill-defined. To have just the right amount of definition. Because if we're too defined, if we're too involved in how we define ourselves in the world, what we see ourselves as, the ego, the persona, if we're too into our own story, that's gonna mess us up. Especially if, classic Buddhist type stuff, if we're getting too attached to this image, to this persona, and we end up suffering as the result of feeling like our persona is attacked or being threatened because someone said or did something that makes our self-identify feel a little shaky, threatened, at risk of death. To be attached to what we define ourselves to be, we're just getting it all wrong. We're getting it all wrong because these are mental constructs. It's not a real I. One of the focal points of this channel, for my content in general, is to remind us that we have emotions, we have thoughts, we have a body, we have a persona, all this stuff. But the I am is really just the energetic, the essence, the core, the heart, the soul. That's the true I. All this other stuff is kind of like limbs, symbolically. They are extensions. They are aspects that can certainly help us or hinder us in using our general discernment, observation, intuition that helps us navigate. So, back to the relationship stuff. I am in relationship to these other aspects of life. I am the heart and soul in relationship to and with my body, my mind, my emotions, my intuitive faculties, right? This is a relationship. We don't have to identify with any of it. We barely even have to identify with us being the heart and soul at the core. We work best in having a very loose grasp, though it is still a grasp. It's a loose grasp, an attention and attenuation to I, the heart, the soul. And then beyond that, we are just in a imagination. No, we are in a relationship with all of these things. When does the I end and the other aspects start, right? There's a very deep, long, broad webbing and meshment with this world. And it is our task to essentially see it for what it is, not overly identify, to observe, to intuit, to discern, to navigate accordingly. Now the hows of doing all this, it's really like working out these muscles, making them stronger. And starting even before that, starting by wanting to do all these things. To say to yourself, I want to get better at my observation. I want to get better at tuning in to my intuition, my feelings, my mind. I want to be more observant of these things. I want to be more of a house cleaner for the thoughts and the emotions, the sentiments, the reactions that aren't helping me, that are hindering me. I want to get better at doing the house cleaning, right? I want to get better at prioritizing. I want to get better at having a loose grasp on the identity at soul level, yet being in a relationship with my mind, my thoughts, my emotions, my body, the world, the externals, my life, right? I want to get better at all of this, at the relationship, at all of the life layers. I want to get better, I want to get better, I want to get better. I want to pay more attention, pay more attention, pay more attention. Right? Kind of wild. So, now this is important, right? Because what comes after that, or it's not after, it's once the energy gets a little more loose, a little more free, where you could still be active, even active in reflection, active in just beingness, to loosen up, to lighten up the energy, the focus, the intentions, to remember that life can be intense, intentional, but also fun, but also silly, but also it ain't that deep, right? To have all these wants, to have all these existential, soul-based, heart-based necessities, you can have that, but also, like, have a bunch of fun. Life can be a grand experiment, a F around and find out. Experiment, have your successes, have your fails, and to not judge ourselves so heavily, so critically. It's like, okay, like epic failure, right? Like, I'll speak from my own life where it's like, okay, I've had a bunch of experimentations, explorations, adventures, and I'm not gonna throw like a number to it, but like, honestly, it's been about 50-50, where epic success, epic fails, and stuff in between, but it's like, whatever. From all of it, I've become a better person, a better soul, have grown my heart, have grown my care, have grown my willingness to clarify myself and expand myself. Clarity and expansion, right? My adventures, even the epic failures, have not made me more fearful. Quite the opposite, have made me more brave. I'm saying all these things to you, to the people abroad, to put forth my energy, these thoughts, these passions, this heart clarity, heart expansion, so that it can be a reminder to you at that core level that adventure, experimentation, and having failures should not make us more cluttered and more fearful. At the end of the day, feel how you want to feel, of course, but it don't gotta be that way. It can be, boom, epic failure, just contemplate, be low and slow about it, and then in due time realize that, okay, it opened up these aspects, it may have closed down these other aspects, but these other aspects don't feel like me anymore, right? Things can grow and things can die, just like the seasons on Earth. Things can grow, things can die, none of it's bad, right? So, I'll leave it at that. It's given you, it's given me a lot to ponder, a lot to clarify, a lot to expand. Such is life. Mac 11, catch you later.